On a sunny Saturday morning in 2008, I washed my Harley-Davidson and then decided to ride it around my neighborhood for a little while. Texas does not have a mandatory helmet law for those over 21, so I didn't think twice about taking off that day without it. After all, I was only going to be riding around in my neighborhood. But unfortunately, crossing this bridge would be the last memory I would have for over a month. As I climbed this hill, I had no idea my life was about to take a terrible turn for the worse. A car came over the hill in my lane and hit me at over 50 miles an hour. I was airlifted to a trauma center, and along with a road rash, torn muscles, and broken bones, I suffered a fractured skull and a traumatic brain injury. My neurosurgeon said if I'd worn a helmet, there's a good chance I would not have sustained the head injury. I'm a prime example as to why every state needs to have a mandatory helmet law for all motorcycle riders. 19 states currently have a mandatory helmet law, and nearly every rider wears one in these states. 28 states, including Texas, have reduced helmet laws where only riders under a certain age are required to wear one. 3 states have no helmet laws at all. Helmet use is around 50% in these 31 states. Traumatic brain injuries from motorcycle accidents are a public health problem, not an individual health problem. Only about 50% of motorcycle accident victims have private health insurance. This places the cost burden squarely on the taxpayer. This should raise a red flag to state legislators and remove any doubt about whether wearing a helmet is an individual choice. It should not be. Studies show that a helmet can reduce the risk of a head injury by 69% and can reduce the risk of death by 42%. A Washington Department of Health study showed the overall cost of hospitalization was 60% more for unhelmeted riders compared to those who wore helmets. A National Highway Traffic Safety Administration study found that hospital charges for unhelmeted riders was over 2 times that of helmeted riders, and long-term costs weren't even included in these figures. The same organization estimates that motorcycle helmet use saved over $19 billion in economic costs from 1994 through 2002. An additional $14.8 billion could have been saved if all motorcycles had worn helmets during the same time. Hospitalization is only the first step after a traumatic brain injury. The recovery can take weeks, years, or it can be indefinite. As long as treatment is required, healthcare dollars are being spent. The accident victim isn't the only person impacted. The family pays a heavy toll. Significant role changes can take place. Family members can become long-term caregivers. The breadwinner's ability to work can come to a screeching halt. Parenting abilities can be lost or significantly altered, and a loving partnership once shared can be forever altered. The cost incurred for long-term medical and nursing care can be economically devastating. All combined, the repercussions of a traumatic brain injury will test the mettle of even the strongest families. Traumatic brain injuries have serious social and economic consequences for the individual, their families, and societies. These enormous consequences make wearing a helmet more than a personal choice. Mandatory helmet laws for all riders can significantly impact this public health problem. And remember, your riding ability is sometimes the least of your worries. So next time you get on your motorcycle, put on a helmet. Do it for yourself. Do it for society.